So when I was thinking about what to say today, I realized that my story is a little bit different from the other stories that we heard today. I did not leave my country due to war. I did not leave my country in a boat or anything like that. But similarly to other refugees, I did not and I still don't feel safe in my home country, and I felt like I wasn't able to have a future in my home country, and so I had to leave it. So I was born in Ethiopia in 1996, and when I was born, my parents and my whole family were a little bit surprised to see me because I was a little bit lighter than them, and so my parents were a little shocked, and they were afraid that like my mom cheated on my dad or something like that. But the doctors immediately explained that it was just a genetic mutation and I was still their child and I was still part of their family. And so everything was fine. However, once we left the hospital, the rest of the neighborhood started gossiping. They didn't understand that it was just a mutation and that I was still Ethiopian. And so they would talk about my mom cheating with a European, or they would say mean things like that I was cursed, that I was a daughter of the devil. And in order to protect me from all these negative comments, my parents decided not to allow me to go outside when I was very little. And so I would spend a lot of time at home with my grandma. And the only times where I was allowed to leave home was to go to the capital to see different doctors, because together with my very beautiful light skin, I also have a very shitty eyesight, and so I would go see a lot of doctors and yeah, just to improve my situation. And however, the doctors couldn't find anything, and they suggested that I go abroad to seek better treatment. And my family agreed as well, also because it was getting very hard for me not to leave the house. Since I was getting older, I also needed to go out to go to school. But even at school, it was getting very oppressive, and I was ostracized by the other kids because I was just very different from them, and so they wouldn't understand why I was hanging out with them. Even the teachers were really mean. They thought I couldn't be taught together with the other kids because they thought I needed special treatment or something like that. And so my parents decided to send me abroad. And when I was 6, I left Ethiopia, left my mom, my dad, and my family, and I went to live in Italy with my older brother. And my life in Italy was a little bit better than the one in Ethiopia. But still, even in Italy, I always felt like an outsider, and that was totally understandable. I didn't expect to go to Italy and to be immediately accepted from the culture there. But still, it was better than not being accepted from my own people, from other Ethiopians. And so it was a little bit better. But I was allowed to live in Italy only until I was 18. So the government allowed me to live there only until I was underage. And so when I was 17, I realized that I had to find another solution. Because I didn't now want to go back to Ethiopia once I had to leave Italy because of my childhood. And even when I was older and I was living in Italy, I went back twice to Ethiopia just to see my family. But even those times were really awful. Every time I left the house, I would be chased by tons of kids, which can be cute and nice. But if I went there as a tourist, it would be nice to have all these people following me just because I'm white and a foreigner coming to their country. But since I identify as an Ethiopian, I find it very annoying to always be reminded that I was so different from them. And so when I had to leave Italy, I definitely did not want to go back there. And so my brother had moved to the US, and so I thought I could come here. And I came here in 2013. When I came here, I was able to apply for asylum. But it was a long process. It took almost 18 months of worry that I would not be given asylum and that I would have to leave the US, which I found like a paradise. It's wonderful here for me. And luckily in January of 2015, last year, I was granted asylum, and I got into Middlebury, and I started going to college, and everything turned out fine. And you know, I did not come here to tell you my story just to say, oh, poor Meron and her childhood. I feel very grateful for all the things that happened to me, and I think that you know, there must have been a reason if I had to leave my country, if I had to come to the U.S., and if I got into Middlebury. And I think that I was given all these wonderful opportunities in order to help others that are not given the same opportunities as the ones I was given. And so I think I'm really happy to be part of groups like Amnesty International and Go/Refuge that are trying to do something concrete and very helpful for other people that are going through the same situations I used to go through in the past, or people that are going through even worse. And so yeah, as other people that were speaking today said, I want you all to remember how lucky you are to be in a place where you feel safe, where you have food every day, where you feel like you're not discriminated against or anything like that. And I want you all to take advantage of all the opportunities that you were given in order to help others that are not given the same opportunities. So thank you.